I want to talk about generational wealth. And by wealth, I mean spiritual wealth, mental wealth, physical wealth, material wealth. I was born into a family where there is this culture of whatever you do in life, when you leave your family, when you leave your parents, you are obligated to take care of your parents. That's the kind of culture that I grew up in. So the impact of that is um, when I started working, it is expected that a portion of my money goes to my parents. I've adopted that mentality for a long, long time until I became a parent. And then when I became a parent, I realized that my own truth. I realized my own truth. I formed my own truth. My truth is when I brought my son into this world, it has nothing to do with him owing me his life, that he will design his life around me so that he will take care of me or will be able to take care of me until I die. For some reason, I have not had that mindset. My mindset was that I brought my son into this world, and he chose me as a person to bring him into this world, for which I'm very grateful because I have learned so much from him. But me and my husband and I, we are very much responsible for our life, and that includes how our life is going to be, how we're going to manage ourselves, our resources until we are going to transition, until we pass. And one of the things that my husband and I are always doing is being very thoughtful about the aspects, the money, the financial situation, so that no matter what happens, our son is never ever going to have or be in a situation where he has to be impacted financially if something happens between in with something happens to me or my husband. Opposite of that, we are making sure that if something happens to me and our husband, if that happens before our son is situated financially or self-sufficiently, that we are able to make sure that he is covered with everything so that he can continue his education, he can get his feet on the ground and be able to be provided for until he is self-sufficient. And in the same way, when we reach our twilight years, we are prepared for that. Every resource, every blessing that is coming our way right now, we are finding the balance to say, how can we make this such that uh, we are secure until we die? Going back to generational wealth, we are also conducting our practices as parents as we bring up our kid so that we can pass on generational wealth on all levels. Number one, spiritually, I'm making sure that I'm sharing a totally new mindset to my kid. It's not. It's more of a anything is possible mindset. It's about your energy. It's about what you believe in. Emotional management, vibration management, being one, and always really putting good out there, because what you are, you attract. So that kind of mindset, which I did not really grow up with. We're also making sure that the mindset of abundance is prominent and dominant in the family. Lately, we have been re-evaluating the way we gift each other. So we made a conscious decision to really minimize material gifts. And instead, if we are to give gifts to each other, it's more about investments. How can we grow money out of the money that we're earning right now? How can we do it such that even if our son is still a teenager, he is exposed to the mindset of growing the money rather than just consuming the money? And then spiritually, we are doing the same thing, making sure that he's got a mindset. He understands the mindset of cosmos or energy or religious beliefs. And it is totally not the mindset that I grew up with. The mindset I grew up with is very religious rather than spiritual, that if you don't follow a certain rule, then you're going to be punished. It's very punitive. It's like merit system. If you do this, you're going to go to heaven. If you don't do this, you're going to go to hell. And the mindset of, if you are not going to church, then you're judged, very much so. If you look at other religions, if you are going to explore, it's like you are being a traitor. It's very judgmental and very punitive. And we are moving away from that. I am making sure I'm ending that on my lineage. I don't want to pass that on to the future generation. And then lastly, whatever my husband and I are doing right now with the resources and blessings that are given to us, it's not just about us. It's not just about the retirement. It is about how do we grow that, so that if we can, when we pass away, there's a certain generational wealth that could get passed on to the future of my son, his kids, and I'm hoping that all this mindset that we are giving to him is going to translate into really new generation, future generation mindset around abundance mindset, around growing your resources, making sure that your resources multiply rather than just a consumerism mindset. And if I'm researching, like, if I have a certain amount of money, how can I make it a generational wealth? So this post really is just sharing with you, just in case this comes to your feed, that maybe you need to hear this because you're in a state where you want to be leaving a legacy behind, or as you improve yourself, you want to make a footprint in the world, so that even after you go, that footprint is like a legacy going strong, right? Like your future, any kid coming out of you, whether it's a biological kid or whether it is a adopted kid, that you're part of the collective that is improving the generations. You're part of the collective that is improving and evolving the consciousness and the mindset into a higher form, and not just continuing what you inherited from a generation where there's not a lot of abundance mindset, there's not a lot of healing mindset. There's just more of like consuming, 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 and more of a kind of like a limited, like a poor mindset. So yeah, it's just more sharing with you the generational wealth that we can contribute to, with having an abundant mindset, a very energetic, way of life. And as we grow our resources, our material resources, we are making sure that we are very thoughtful too on how we're going to leave it behind. It's not just for ourselves, but how can it help the future generation that's coming out of our line.